What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, December 20th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being here with me. I am, since it's the last day of Sagittarius season and we got a winter solstice starting tomorrow on the 21st of December, I'm going to do a little solstice sale. So $100 off of a reading, so $200. And I'm going to book those in January, but if you want to get booked in January for the discount, email me. Email's below, scarboroughb@protonmail.com, and we'll get you booked. You can take advantage of the solstice. I like to do the solstice equinox sales. Might be a hack. Everybody is going to wait till the solstice equinox, but that's fine. I like to do sales around those time. So if you're interested, check it out and reach out and we'll get you booked for January. Man, I am mentally exhausted, though. I'll be honest, this week was a mentally challenging one. And just real talk before we get into the horoscope, I really definitely noticed a big shift with this Mars retrograde this week, especially with the sun squaring Neptune and when the moon conjuncted Mars. Definitely saw tempers flaring, just masculine energy not in a lot of control. And those are two defining planets, Mars and the sun. And with the sun squaring Neptune, it almost felt like, people weren't really sure about themselves. It was kind of like, and then that Mars retrograde in Leo starting to approach Pluto again. Really, there were some projections flying around. So I don't know, just some observations in hindsight. But yeah, let's take a look at Friday. We're going to see a moon in Virgo. Hopefully brings some practicality and some groundedness into our life, maybe getting us paying attention to the little things in our lives that need some touching up on, maybe some of those Neptune squares with the sun. Maybe they got us a little loosey-goosey. Hopefully we're able to kind of dial in and get things understood and figured out in our personal lives and emotionally. We might, especially right now, the holidays are coming up. Christmas is a big holiday, right? It's almost like getting your last minute things done, kind of like making sure everything's dialed in for your plans for next week. So I feel like there's a lot of planning going on Friday and getting things situated, last minute wrapping, put the bow on top. Very Virgo, energy in itself. So we're trying to kind of perfect, get everything dialed in, right? On the other side of things too, if you've been struggling with some of these, the Sun square Neptune and Mars retrograde in Leo, this could be a time too where we're looking back and being kind of harsh on ourselves, or maybe we're mentally exhausted. I know I was with Mercury now starting to progress direct, heading towards Antares. The moon's going to square Mercury, and I think that this can bring a lot of mental exhaustion in itself too, and maybe trying too hard to have everything kind of understood and really see the big picture and have plans perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. I feel like we just want to pay attention, do what we can do. We don't want to get more mentally exhausted than maybe we already are. Maybe I'm just speaking to myself. Maybe you guys feel that too. But let's not be too hard on ourselves too about maybe certain decisions we've made or things that we've done, or if there was some sort of deception that showed up. Let's just try and take it easy, see what the messages are, what really needs to be paid attention to. We're seeing the sun finish up in Sagittarius. There's been a lot of hopes, dreams, a lot of good times, and a lot of things amplified, especially with Venus and Jupiter in their trine separating from that. So Friday really seems like a consolidation day and really trying to bring things in. Be gentle with yourself. If you need to take a break for something, take a break, take a walk, touch some grass, ground out. It's definitely a day to try and get back into some grounded energy. We haven't had a lot of earth in the chart, right? We've had Uranus, but it's been a lot of fire, a lot of air, a lot of water, a lot of a lot of everything but earth. And we're about to come into Capricorn season and dial things in a little bit more here, bring a little bit more of that consolidated energy to this expanse that we've been feeling, whether it's emotionally or just a lot of different moving parts going on. But we're starting to get into that now. The moon's going to finish off the day opposite Saturn, and in the evening, maybe we are being way too critical or harsh on ourselves and feeling like there's a lot of resistance externally, a lot of things kind of pulling in different ways. It's almost like for some reason I just felt like a devil and an angel on the shoulder. Like one angel is like saying like, do the right thing, pay attention, get the thing done. And then even like Saturn in Pisces is almost like the devil on the shoulder, like make it harder than it needs to be. You can do it. Just be the dumpster, for all this other stuff. Like, you can let it slide. Like Saturn's tricking, that's some tricky energy. We're still in this Neptune Sun square. We're finishing up in Sag. Like, there's a fine line between knowing what can be swept under the rug and kind of put to the side because it's causing you exhaustion and not, adding to the quality of life. And then there's another thing where it's just pushing everything under the rug and trying to bypass, especially if it was dealing with things that you've bypassed before that haven't worked out, some kind of a subconscious or unconscious pattern in our lives. And be careful, just overall too with like tension building with Mars retrograde. Like we're all, getting a lot of our identity scraped clean here and then trying to understand our security even more and what we're really driven for from a deep emotional standpoint. But there's a big disconnection with Venus and Pluto in Aquarius too, and a lot of observing, and we want to be taking in data and observing, and this moon can really help us with that. It can, get the analytics dialed in here, but sometimes the analytics and the information and the data can be stressful and heavy, and we still want to finish Sag season here on a like hopeful high note, and hopefully not feel like the story's just all negative or exhausting. It's coming into Capricorn season. It can be somewhat exhausting in general. So yeah, it's definitely going to ground us out a little bit today. If you've been feeling a little ungrounded or uncertain, I do think that today, like one of the best parts about this Friday is it can kind of like bring us back into our body and have us see things clearly. And it's almost like a lot of the veil has been lifted in some ways, but we could have got lost in the veil. And we don't want to be like upset at the truth either. We want to be able to find different ways to express how we're feeling and try to stay positive. Even if things need, to be dialed in and worked on in our life. We don't want to think that that's a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing, and it can provide us with some solid enjoyment. Card for the day is the Two of Swords upright. Well, typically the card of there's multiple directions, multiple paths to be taken can definitely leave us sort of confused. Yeah, hydrochloric acid. Probably don't want to put that in your eyes. Probably not going to help you see clearly. So I just feel like it's a day when like you just want to do the right thing. Like if you know something isn't good, why are you going to take that path? This moon in Virgo wants to keep us more grounded, practical, and just focus more on doing the right thing. You're not going to do something stupid just to do it. I feel like we're experimenting with things in our life right now, but we don't need to experiment with things that we already know because data's already shown, information's already there, that it's not a good thing for us. Like experiment with doing the right thing, right? Something that's going to be more beneficial and fruitful to where you're going. That's clearly the right path to take. Don't blind yourself with the stuff that you already know isn't a good way. So keep that in mind today. Love you guys. I'll see you for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.